Dr. Mary, thank you very much for doing this. Let me ask you, first of all, what is your prognosis about Omicron? How long it will last?
As far as we can understand from Omicron, we think that it's so transmissible that it'll move through the population in Greece and true in each country that it shows up in a pretty short period, from introduction to peak in 4 to 6 weeks. So most of the Omicron wave should happen in the month of January in Greece.
What percentage of the population do you expect to be, to have this variant?
Well, we expect that probably as much as half of the population or more will get infected with Omicron. And that's despite, vaccination levels and past infection with other variants of COVID.
So is there any sense in trying to control Omicron, really?
It is much less severe than past variants, maybe 90 or 95% less severe. So huge numbers coming, but and much less severe.
Do you see any kind of strange effects from Omicron, things that you didn't expect, really?
It's turned out to be much less severe. And to date, we're not really seeing anything particularly unusual, except this fact that 80 to 90% of people who get infected have no symptoms at all. And so that makes a really big difference in terms of impact on the population.
Let me come to the policy conclusions you've reached after your study in Greece. Schools, would you open them or keep them closed?
To the extent that you have teachers that don't need to quarantine because they've tested positive, we think schools should be open.
So you would suggest that we don't look so much at the numbers, the actual numbers, and look more at the hospitalization, ICU?
I think people have to stop being terrified by the huge case numbers because they will be very large. And they need to look at hospitalizations, or even more importantly, what the Greek government's been doing already, which is looking at those that either are in the ICU or require mechanical ventilation or intubation. That number, which tells us about the critically severely ill with COVID, is the one to watch, because that's telling us, the real consequence. The case numbers will be scary because they will set records, and they'll set records day after day until we hit a peak, which should come probably faster than we thought 2 weeks ago. More likely we'll see a peak in Greece, in the middle of the month. But keep the attention on those severe cases that then end up requiring, much more aggressive intervention in hospital.
When do you think this pandemic will be over?
The pandemic will be over once the Omicron wave is over. So probably by the time March rolls around, numbers are down in most places because Omicron will move so quickly. The pandemic will be over, although COVID certainly won't be. And we will just need to change gears and say, look, this is like the flu. It'll be around all the time. We need to keep people vaccinated, boosted over time.
Ολόκληρη συνέντευξη, αποκλειστική συνέντευξη στον Αλέξη Παπαχελά του Δόκτωρα Μιούρεϊ, του παγκόσμιου γκουρού των προβλέψεων για την πανδημία, αύριο στην Καθημερινή της Κυριακής. Είναι το πρώτο θέμα, μην τη χάσετε.